Finally, we get our first look at Solomon Saga. Now, to be candid, I have been reached out to by some of the team behind the scenes, including the director, who we're going to see in just a moment here, and gotten to take a little bit of an early look at it, and also I've seen it now that it's out to the public. So if you want to go see it, look up Solomon, the Solomon Saga on YouTube, and you're able to go and see this proof of concept. Now, let me be clear. This is a proof of concept, meaning that this isn't the final product necessarily. This is kind of like what they want to do with a series looking forward. In fact, this proof of concept only has 3 characters in the entire thing, 3 actors in the entire thing. And so we're not going to do a deep dive today of the proof of concept. We might do that at a later date, but I'm going to talk about my overall thoughts about Solomon Saga. Are we going to look at it on the channel, or is this something that we're just going to kind of ignore? We're going to talk about it, and let's jump into it here. First, let me introduce you to the director, and let's see what she has to say here.
Before you get started, I just wanted to take a minute to set the stage for what you're about to see. So this is a 23-minute proof of concept. We created it as a way to introduce you to a few of the main characters, some of the compelling storylines and themes that we know we're going to be exploring in the upcoming series. And we hope and plan to film the pilot in fall 2026.
So let's take that into account. They're hoping and planning to film the pilot, not necessarily the first season, but the pilot in 2026. Again, this is a proof of concept. So this is like pre-pilot kind of territory here.
But for now, just kick back, and we really hope that you enjoy this glimpse into the world of King Solomon and the Solomon Saga.
All right, so we're going to look at a couple of different scenes. I'm going to skip past this first scene here. You can kind of see, I'll play it in the background. You can see Luke Dimyan, of course, is playing King Solomon. He's just been crowned king in this scene. And we see as Eric Avari is playing the decrepit and just about to pass away King David, okay? I don't think Eric is going to be in this series for very long if they use the same actors for the actual series. I've also seen that Luke Dimyan may be involved in other aspects of this show as well, so I can't really speak to that a ton, but there is some stuff upcoming. I think they're actually going to make some announcements soon as well, so if they do, I'll talk about those on the channel as well soon. Now, these 3 characters are the ones that are in this. The woman who is here is not King David's wife, but she is kind of a nurse that's taking care of him. You may have remembered this being mentioned in The Chosen. Whenever Jesus is talking to John the Baptist in season 2, he mentions this moment from scripture as well. Now, let's take a look at this scene right here. And I just want you guys to kind of like see what this is all about, how this kind of goes, and the feeling of what is actually happening here. But of course, obviously, we recognize 2 out of the 3 of these actors from The Chosen. And so let's play through this here.
I see you must love the king.
I do love the king, as I love my own father.
How proud he must be of your service here. Yet, sad that you are not by his side.
So one thing you're going to immediately notice is the accents. We'll talk about other stuff later, but the accents here, it is American accents generally, like kind of a mix between American, slightly British at times, it feels like, but generally American accents. There's no change in the dialogue here from the actors. It's like kind of their normal voices for the most part, just acting voices. So that's jarring, I think, coming from the other series that we've seen. For example, Promised Land, The Chosen, House of David, all of them are using semi-Israeli accents just in their transliteration of the English, right? Kind of bring that into an English world, but still making it feel foreign as using an accent. Now, here in this proof of concept, they decided not to do that, which I don't love. I like the idea of using these accents as a way to make it feel foreign, make it feel ancient, make it feel a little bit more distant from a modern audience. It just makes it feel a lot better. Now, Solomon Saga may be doing this in order to separate themselves from The Chosen and House of David and all these other projects. Maybe they don't like that trend that's happening within these shows. But I would say it's probably a good trend to have. It makes these shows feel a lot more consumable. Now, let's watch some more of this and kind of watch through it a bit here.
My father is always in my heart. He is a scholar and dedicates his life to ministry and the study of the law of Moses. I try to follow in his footsteps.
All right, so you'll start to notice here, this place looks very familiar. familiar. The first scene as well, as we go through, and we'll come back to this whole entire first scene here. Where is this shot? What do you think? This is Caiaphas's house. I can't really get past the fact that they used all the sets from The Chosen in Midlothian, Texas. And so here we have them in Caiaphas's house, which is turned into King David's kind of bedroom here. Of course, they did a good job of transforming it, but obviously there's very iconic things that show this is Caiaphas's house. So it's kind of hard for hardcore Chosen fans to not see that. But obviously it's the Chosen set that's here. Same thing with the next scene that we were just watching. This, of course, is the outside of the synagogue where they are in Capernaum. So if you remember those scenes, this is the synagogue in Capernaum that they always shoot at here, where Peter helped Gaius to fix the well and all that kind of stuff here.
Yet, sad that you are not by his side.
Oh, my father is always in my heart. He is a scholar and dedicates his life to ministry and the study of the law of Moses. I try to follow in his footsteps.
Who is your hero? Which texts stand out to you as the true way to live?
Oh, the prophet.
Okay, I'm going to mention this real quick and then we'll continue on. Is Solomon here? Is he wearing the same robe that Jesus is wearing in season 6 of The Chosen? Because that's crazy. It looks exactly like it. Like, I'm pretty sure that this is the same piece of costuming that they just borrowed from The Chosen, and then The Chosen's using it for season 6 to wear, for Jesus to wear. Am I right about that? I think that I'm right about that.
A test, Devorah. Her strength and judgment have been my guide. I studied her so much that my father often called me Devorah.
Well, then you must also know that Devorah was not just a prophet, but a judge and a military commander.
There has never been anyone else like her.
Devorah was willing to sacrifice her life as military commander for God's chosen people. Was she not?
All right, I'm going to show you one more scene here. I'm pretty sure that's the same robe. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the same robe. I'm almost 99% sure. Let's move on here. Let's get to this scene. We do have some Solomon lovey-dovey moment where they kind of make out a little bit. So here's Luke, Solomon, and now her name is Devorah. They kind of skip forward in time here. And now he's married to who her new name is Devorah here. And then we get a little bit of a welcome kind of makeout session here.
Majesty.
Of course, Solomon is a very lovey-dovey, lots of, obviously Song of Solomon. If you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. Now, it is confusing to me historically who this woman is. Devorah doesn't seem to be Solomon's wife, let alone his first wife. And it seems to me that he marries the princess of Egypt first, like as his first wife, at least that we see in scripture. So that's who we should see here. And in fact, that may be who he's writing about when it comes to Song of Solomon, as he kind of mentions that she's like, has dark skin and things like this. And so I don't think that this woman exists like in history at all. I don't think that she's an actual character. So it's a little bit weird historically for me, the way that they're kind of lining this up here. Yeah, a lot of people are saying in chat that he married his sister because in The Chosen, Judas's sister's name is Devorah, and now Luke, the actor playing Solomon, has to marry Devorah. Yeah, it's very confusing.
Husband, I did not expect you back. Is that your new song? It is beautiful.
Okay, so let me start to kind of break down. I'll let this play a little bit in the background. Let me start to break down some of the good things that I see about this. Clearly, the visuals are really, really good. Guess why that is? Because the person who made this is Akis Konstantinopoulos, okay? He is obviously the same DP, the director of photography that does The Chosen. So it looks very, very good. Not only that, but he's used to shooting on a set like this because it is The Chosen set, okay? And so clearly it looks very good visually. Like if I did not have any sound on this, I probably would have a different opinion than I have about it. It looks very, very good. They're using great cameras. They're using great lighting. They're using great color grading. Everything looks great from that standpoint here. Where it really falls apart for me is it feels like the acting, but I know that it's not, because I know that Luke Dimyan and Eric Avari are really great actors, because I've seen them in many different things acting extremely well, right? Even some of Luke's older stuff, like on YouTube and stuff, like you can see that he's a great actor. And you can see clearly in The Chosen that he's a great actor. Eric Avari, of course, has many different things that he's done over the years, and he's always been a great actor. In this, though, there's something that is off, and it is very obvious. It feels in a lot of ways that I'm watching like a high school or a middle school stage production. It doesn't feel like I'm watching a TV show, let alone a very, very high quality TV show. And I really struggle to say these things because I was really rooting for Solomon Saga, and not to say that it's like completely done and like I shouldn't pay attention to it, you shouldn't pay attention to it. I'm not saying that. But I was really hoping that this proof of concept would just hit super hard and I would be surprised. But it just felt really, really off. And I think a big portion of that, probably 80% of that, comes down to the writing. Just certain things that they say and the way that the words are put together. There's nothing that these actors could do to make those words be better than they are. So let me play a little bit of this for you again and kind of hear what I'm saying as we kind of go through.
I've never even met her.
What example do you set?
She is a symbol of our union with Egypt.
My priorities and my goals do not always align with what is written.
So you put yourself above the law?
No, my love. God has gifted me with wisdom above all mankind.
Because of this, I live by a separate set of laws.
So it just feels unnatural, I think, is really where it comes from for me. It feels really like rote and robotic, and it doesn't feel natural and flowy and like something that I'm sucked into. It feels as if I'm being like pushed at by the words. Like it's hard to explain. It just doesn't feel natural to me. And I think that coupled with the secondary thing that I think is hard in this is I don't think the editing is very good. And I don't know who edited this. I don't know who was in charge of that. I feel like the editing doesn't help with the writing. And so those two things put together really hurts the overall production as a whole, which is it's really sad, man. Like, I was really, really looking forward to this being like a banger, and it was just gonna like hit so hard, and we were gonna be able to have another great biblical show produced in the future, and maybe that will be the case. Maybe they'll adjust, maybe they'll change some things, maybe they'll have this be a really great thing. I can see the potential, like you have the great actors, right? You have the great DP that's doing the cinematography, like that all is great. But the second that I start hearing the dialogue, it just completely fell off for me, like within seconds or minutes, and that sucks, man. And like I said, I really have a hard time because like I have communication with a lot of the people that worked on this or that were adjacent to it, right? I love Luke. I love Eric. I love the people that made this thing. And so it's really hard for me to be the one to have to say like, I would probably rate this really low if I had to rate it. And I hate that, man. I really, really hate that. But I've promised you guys, as always, I'm going to be as honest as possible when it comes to these things. I just think that the two things really that are the biggest issues for me are the writing, which I've always told you is 80% of the reason why I love The Chosen, because the writing is incredible. And the secondary thing is the biblical accuracy. I think there's just things in here that are very strange biblically. Like, yes, they mention Adonijah and they mention some of the brothers of Solomon and the sons of David and some different things that are happening there within the storyline. But there's a lot of other things, like especially with Devorah and like different things that are happening there that just yeah, it just doesn't make any sense historically, culturally, or biblically. And so I'd have some questions there for sure. Like, yeah, even like the circlet that she's wearing, like I don't know that queens would have wore like a medieval circlet, you know, like things like that. Like the crown is what I'm saying there. Yeah, it just bums me out, man. Like I do wish that it was. I just wish that it was a better script, I think. Yeah. So yeah, that's my thoughts overall. Like I said, I think there are some redeeming qualities. I think if you take the cinematography and you take, the actors that you have, I still think there's something that can be made that is great here. I just think there's a lot of direction that needs to be taken when it comes to the script, when it comes to the storyline. And I don't know, maybe as we see more, we'll see that fleshed out. But that's my personal opinion at the moment, unfortunately. So let me know your thoughts about Solomon Saga. If you want me to do a deep dive on it and just talk about the things that are in this biblically, historically, culturally, and kind of deep dive into that, I definitely will. So let me know in the comments down below if you want me to do that. And let me know about your thoughts about what you thought about watching this. Go check it out on YouTube. Go support them. And if you love it, let me know. What do you love about this? What is your favorite thing about this proof of concept and what you're looking forward to? Of course, I love the story of Solomon. I love all the things that happen with him. And there's so many unique moments within this. I just think for me, it missed the mark pretty hard. And that's unfortunate. So yeah, love you guys very much. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And of course, we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.